Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by and checking the video out. Really do appreciate it. Gonna do something a little bit different today. Well, not different, but something I've been meaning to do for a while. I just couldn't quite come up with an arrangement that worked for me to relay to you, basically. We're gonna work on Moonlight Motel off the Western Stars album by Bruce Springsteen. Just came out a few years ago. Really great tune. I would say probably like a top five for me in terms of just the writing, the lyrics, and all that. But I'll walk you through how I do this. Again, one thing to keep in mind, we're going to put this capo on the 3rd fret for this one, which is going to put it in the key of E flat, basically. So we're going to play, just so you understand the chords we're going to be doing, regular open chords as if we weren't using the capo. So obviously you can move this around anywhere you want. But the main basic chords that we're using are going to be a C, A minor. We're going to pull an F, and again, I'm calling it out by chord shapes. I mean, if this was a C shape, it's an E flat just in terms of where the capo is. But I'm going to call them out by the shape. So C major, A minor, F right here, which, I don't typically play the full bar chord in the Springsteen tune because I don't think he does it either. He kind of just does like a bit of a shortcut where you're just playing really for this type of chord. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th strings. Usually the E strings he doesn't touch. And then there's a G in there as well. And then it's just a couple walk downs basically that you need to know just in terms of the progression. And the G is primarily a turnaround, which is going to get you back into, and if I just kind of do it real quick. Really, it's almost like a G bass note, but we'll get into that. So again, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. But let's get into this. Moonlight Motel, Bruce Springsteen. Okay, let's just get into this one. Fairly straight, simple as far as the chords, shapes we're using. But again, Springsteen, some of these ballad-like tunes, his rhythm and his picking is really, it kind of goes all over the map here. So I'm going to walk you through how I've done it, my little arrangement here. You're going to have to listen to the song to kind of really understand how he does it, and then I would say make it your own. One thing I will say about this tune is that when you're playing to the album, you realize it's probably slower than you thought it would be as far as tempo, and you want to kind of give it some giddy up, which probably isn't a bad idea. Maybe just bring the tempo up a little bit. I leave that up to you, but here's what we're going to be using. It's going to be the C shape, A minor shape, an F shape, and again, I'm not using the low E or the high E. I'm kind of just making the chord just with everything in between, and a G. And the G chord isn't really played all 6 strings for the most part. You can get away, and I think it's just a matter of using the G as a bass note. Okay. Again, I'm using shapes, not the actual key. I mean, if we want to get technical, this is a B flat. Okay. So that's how I would do it. Now, there's a couple patterns in this song, and it starts off with the intro. So what we're doing there is just playing the C, and to give it the accent, we are taking our pinky, and we're putting it on the 3rd fret, again, relative to the capo, 3rd fret, B string. We're going to do the same thing with that A minor. The F is just kind of the F, but what I do is to accent that, I'm actually going to lift my middle finger so that 3rd string is open. And to accent the bass note, which is also a B flat, this is a B flat here, and then the bass note up here on the 3rd fret, 6th string, I'm just going to take my ring finger and I bring it up here just to hit that bass note to give it the turnaround. And you'll see what I mean by the turnaround. If I can play it right. So there's your intro, and that's going to be for your verse, okay? So one more time again. C. Right? I'm just kind of picking. If you can see here, I'm just kind of going. And then if you want to just strum it, that's fine too. Right, so you can do that a couple decides. I leave it up to you. I'm just kind of giving you the structure how to do it. I'm not giving you note for note on the album because it's just a matter of finger picking. See, I'm not a finger picking guy, so I can't do it. So, but if I give you the structure, you can do it. So, intro, verse. Let's go to the chorus. We're going to use the same chords, but we're just going to rearrange them a little bit differently. So here's what I'm doing here. We're going to go to the F first, to the C, A minor, G, to the F. So your F chord is going to be like bookends for the chorus, okay? So one more time. F, C, A minor, G. And if you could, I leave it up to you again, but what I do there is technically I'm using that G just as a bass note. You could play the full G. I just kind of like just throwing that bass note in there to give it a little bit dynamic. So it's going to be the F to the C, and then you're going to start a bit of a walk down on that A minor. So it's A minor. I just use my pinky to give you the bass note for the G, and then I play that F chord again. And then back to the other rhythm. The Moonlight Motel. And again, if you can't get the pinky in there on that accent note, the second fret, second string, third fret, it's not do or die there, but it does give it some flavor, but you can strum without it. All right. There's your song. All the pieces are there. It's pretty straightforward in terms of the arrangement. Intro, verse, chorus, intro, verse, chorus, and then there's a bridge, but the bridge is basically the same as the chorus. And I think the line there is bills and kids, kids and bills. What? Bills and kids and bills and ringing of the bell. The Moonlight Motel. So in the chorus, basically you're not going to hold the F as long, and you're going to go to a quicker turnaround on that G. That's really the only thing. But you've got to listen to hear these pieces. Now, as I was saying, intro, verse, chorus, then the bridge. When he comes out of that bridge, this is where the song varies depending on the part. There's certain parts where he kind of will do, you've got to listen to it. He'll come out of the, either like the verse or the chorus a little bit quicker. The chords will be much quicker. He'll cut a few of them out. You got to listen to it, but it's going to be after that bridge. There's one part where he's going to hold the F a little bit longer. Okay, and then even going into the so you'll hear it, but what it's going to be, it's not going to be anything we haven't gone over already. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be this pattern. Or it'll be the chorus, which is also the bridge. So there's no other patterns in there. So it's just a matter of listening. You just got to listen to where some of these get cut off because it varies. And the tempo is going to change. But it's going to be after that bridge part of it. And then it's going to end on the C shape. So it's going to... That's how I tend to play it. So, I mean, I just kind of wing it, whether I want to feel like strumming it, or I'm going to kind of... But the key there is if you're going to play it, and those accent notes, it's going to be the E string and the B string. And it's going to be open E, I think, for the entire song, if you're going to want to include that. And then the B, it's just going to be going from first fret, second string, third fret, second string. And the melody line for the verse is right there too. So your melody's right in there as well. So you could always just try to play along as far as the vocal melody. You can do that too. So it's right there. Mainly again B string all and that major scale right. So give it a try. There's a lot going on here, even though it's a simple acoustic tune. It depends on how you want to do it. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit. The fun one, I think it's one of his best that he's done as far as the storytelling. And I'm including that with Jungle Land, Backstreets, Thunder Road, Incident, New York City Serenade. I mean, again, it's just an acoustic tune, but lyrically the story I think is fantastic. So enjoy. Hopefully you like this one. Comments below if you want to hear any other Springsteen or anything else from this album, Western Stars. I'll give it a shot. And we'll go from there. All right. Thanks, folks. Appreciate it. Later. Alright everyone, good to see you again. Thanks for checking this video out. Really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications on future videos that I might be doing. Well, hopefully will be doing, not might be doing. Wanted to go back into the Devils and Dust album. I did a song a little while back for Leah. If you remember that video, if you haven't done it, check it out. Yet, again, that album by Springsteen, some great tunes on there. Really, some great music. Acoustic bass, just you can something you play at the campfire, whatever it might be. They're more of the deeper cuts from the Springsteen catalog, so you probably, if you're not really familiar with those albums, you may not be familiar with these tunes, but these are some really easy ones to play. This one in particular is called Long Time Coming. Band I was in, Lost in the Flood. We played this a couple times live. Just a great easy song, but when you can do it just on the acoustic, but when you had the band playing it, it really kind of just really had a great full sound. So we're gonna just do the acoustic version. Obviously that's what I got here. Just a handful of chords, really the verse, the chorus, there's a bit of a bridge, but really pretty straightforward. So we'll go over all that, and you're going to see that I play some variations. It's basically a G. Now, keep in mind when I say G, I've got the capo on the 3rd fret. So when I call these out, I'm going to call them out relative to the capo being really 0. So when I say a G, it's a G shape, but in reality, it's a B flat. Okay, so I'm going to be calling them out when I do the close up just by the chord shape. So a G, a C, D. There's actually an F thrown in there as well, believe it or not. So, but really straightforward. I think really easy to learn if you kind of know those basic shapes. That bar chord might be a little tough, but we can maybe figure a way around that. So, hopefully this helps you out and you enjoy it. Let's take a closer look and see how you do this. All right, so let's take a closer look at this one. Again, pretty straightforward. Again, the shapes you'll be using are the G shape, C, Or you can do the C this way, and I'll show you what the differences might be. The D, and then there's an F thrown in there. Again, in terms of tone, it's the G shape, but it's really a B flat in terms of just the tone itself. But again, with the capo on here, we're gonna just use this for all purposes. This is gonna be the nut, which will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then that's how we just kind of determine the shapes. So the tune itself starts off on a G, okay? Again, G shape. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. I've played it a few different ways, and when I've seen them play live a few different ways, really you're playing the chord, but you're hammering onto certain areas, and you can do this a couple different ways. The way that I've done it in the past, which is fairly simple, if you hold your G shape this way, so you've got the 6th string, 5th string, and then your 1st string, let that ring, you can hammer on to the C on the 2nd string, right there, okay? The other way is a full G shape, and then you can hammer on, honestly, either to the, which is the 4th string, or do it on the 3rd string. I think it'll just how you think it sounds. It just a matter of hammering on somewhere though, just to kind of break it up. So you do it there. All right. The reason, there's a couple different ways you can do it. So when the verse kicks in, it's on that G. Change to the C with the lyric of arms. I think it was the first time around. And then back to the G. So it really depends on what you're comfortable with, because the G sets you up for a couple different things. So if I'm playing it this way with this chord shape, so when you go to the C shape, you can go right into that one. Back to the G, okay? If you're doing it this way, which maybe has a better tonal sound to it, but it's whatever works for you. If you're playing the full G, you can go into this C right here. Just bring down your index finger and your ring finger, bring them just down one string, but on the same frets. And I tend to lift the pinky off to give that open E string right there. So but either way is fine, because it's just that root you have. So you go from here to here if you want to just keep it simple. From here, same thing, but bring your pinky off of it. Back to the G. So you got a couple options there. I mean, you're really splitting hairs, I think, but whatever you're comfortable with is what you can do. So here you got this option to the C, or you got this option to this C, or that. Okay, lifting your pinky up, and then it goes back into the G, and then it just goes into the chorus, and it's just 3 chords. The chorus has been a long time coming, my friend. So it's the D shape to the G shape to the C shape. And again, I for the chorus, I usually go with this route right here. Okay. And then it goes back to the G. Or the G this way. Again, whatever you're comfortable with, I think either way it works out well. You can go through the verse again, you go through the chorus again, right? And then there's a bit of a bridge, and it's just 2 chords. And this is where the bar chord comes in, the F. Right, the F shape to the D shape. Oh, no, it goes to the F shape to the C shape. So it's F. Right? So it's the F, 1 time, 2 times, to the D. fairly simple. So now if you can't get the whole bar chord, you can kind of just do it, I guess, this way. Little F chord like that, just where it's going to be your, let's see, your D string, G string, and B string right here, okay? Just play the triad if you can do it, or you bar it down here, right? For me, actually, it's easier just to bar it. And then right to the D. And then back to the G, which goes back, I think, to the last verse. And you're repeating everything. So that's your song right there. So again, your intro is the G shape, however you want to play. Right? To the verse, which is going to be a combination of your G and the C. Right? And then your chorus, D shape, G shape, C shape, and again, I like leaving that E open for the chorus. Back to the G, right? And then the bridge is the F to a C. Back to that D. There you have it. So probably one of the, well, they're all, I don't say they're all simple, but this is definitely falls to the easy category, I think, for some of the Springsteen songs out there. So hopefully this helped you out. Again, like, subscribe, leave some comments below in terms of maybe some songs you want to hear. Let me know. I'll do my best to try to get to those. I know I've gotten requests in the past. I'm still working on those. So, but, you know, again, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And, you know, we'll see you real soon. Thanks again for checking us out. Appreciate it. Hey everyone, thanks for checking the channel out. Really do appreciate it. Wanted to kind of get right into this video. There's a lot going on in this tune. Great tune. If you're a Springsteen fan, this probably ranks somewhere within your top 5 or even top 10 songs he's ever done. If you're not a Springsteen fan, it's probably one of those deep cuts you maybe you've heard, but you haven't heard a whole lot of. But this goes back to the Born to Run album. The name of this tune is called Backstreets. Love it. It's an epic tune. And sometimes when you say the word epic, or, you know, you automatically put it in that category of maybe Jungle Land or Incident or New York City Serenade. Yes and no. I mean, it's epic. There's a great story here. But the chords are very simple. It's the key of G. It's an E minor, you know, the relative minor, which are used a lot there. Occasionally, there's a couple bar chords. You know, it changes key during the bridge, but it's nothing crazy. So I think, you know, you can certainly give this a shot if you know your open chords and some bar chords. You know, this became a favorite of mine probably in the 90s. I was too young. Well, I wasn't too young, but I never had a chance to go see the E Street Band prior to the breakup after the Tunnel tour. And then the first time I got to see the E Street Band was, you know, 99 on the reunion tour. So in that span of, you know, 9-10 years, I really got a chance to listen to the catalog, listen to a lot of things. My buddies and I, we always kind of felt this was one of the favorites between all of us. So, so it's a special tune for me because I want to send this out to, you know, my buddies from back then who are buddies still now. And I know, unfortunately, we don't get to see each other all the time. That little thing called life gets in the way. But there's not a day I don't, you know, think about you guys, you know, every day. So, Keith, Joe, Sal, Kevin, you know, I know we don't see each other, talk all the time, but, you know, you're always in my mind. So this one's going out to you guys, all right? Everyone else, hopefully you enjoy the video. All right, let's just jump right into this one. As I said, it's not a hard song, but there's a lot of moving parts in this tune. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off on the intro, that piano intro. There is a way you can play that with the guitar, just playing some simple chords. We're going to just kind of do that at the end here. I think it'll be easier that way because I think a lot of folks are ready to kind of jump into the main part of the song when it kicks in. So let's do that first, okay? Very straightforward. You're using a G and an E minor. That's really it. I mean, that's what this whole song is about. G, which is the root, E minor, which is the relative minor. Everything's kind of revolving around those tones right there, okay? So After that piano comes in, there's the build-up, and when the whole band comes in, you're coming in on the G. All that is a G, and I play this a couple different ways throughout the course of the song, just kind of based on what's easiest for me as I'm loading up for like maybe the next chord after that. You could play the G this way. You could play the E minor. Well, honestly, that's how I play the E minor here, this way. But I'll play the G this way. I'll sometimes just play it this way with my index finger kind of just floating around. Sometimes I'll throw in a suspended if I need to. But it comes in on the G. E minor, okay? Now, if you want to add a little bit more to that, a little more zing to it, you can go with the G. Doing there, really straightforward. I'm taking my G and I'm going to pick the 6th string and I'm going to hammer on the open A to the 2. Oops, try that again. So it's 3rd fret on the 6th string. On the 5th string I'm going from the open, hammering to the 2, and then I'm picking the open D and open G. E minor. And all I'm doing is those 2 notes that are fretted right here, I'm picking. So with these 2 notes right here, back to the G. You can play that 3 or 4 times, I think. Okay, and if you can't do that, just play the chords. I would also suggest as you're playing a lot of these chords, this G and the open on the E minor, or on the high E string, are really great, I guess, chords to bring out the notes to bring out the color in some of the song. So, you know, play around with that. It's really some great ways to kind of get a lot of mileage out of just some simple chords. So the verse, same as the intro. When soft and festive summer. You're going to play that 3 times. Again, you can play just the chords or do what I just showed. Okay? 3 times. You're going to do that, right? And then when you kind of get to that pre-chorus piece of it, 2 chords we're going to go into. D. Back to the D. Okay, so we're going to come out of the verse. So that's leading up into the part, into the Backstreets, okay? So again, one more time. You're playing the verse. We're going to say we did it 3 times already. D, to C, back to the D, to the chorus. The chorus is going to start on the G as well. Hiding on the, to the C. Backstreets. Hiding on the Backstreets. Okay? So what do I do there? Okay, so the chorus is G. On the back streets, riding on the back streets. So again, simple chords we're doing. We're doing the G to the C a couple times, and then we're going to bring that D into it with an E minor, right? And that C is your transitioning it back into the right? There's a lot going on there, so I mean, I'm not going to kind of stay on it too long, but that's why you can go back and rewind. But we're not using anything other than some traditional chords right now for this tune, okay? From there, we go back into the verse. And you're only going to play that twice. And then when we kind of get back into that pre-chorus, when we did the C to the, the D to the C, back to the D, we're going to throw an A minor in there now. I believe this part is huddled in our cars. So it's going to be a D, C, A minor, to the C, back to the D. And what I do to go from the C to the A minor, I do a bit of a walk down. If you listen to any of the live recordings from 1978, I believe there were some walk downs in there. So it's wait for the bells that ring. Let's try that again. Okay, and that's kind of how you do that. So real simple. Again, you're just adding an A minor in there to the chords you already know at this point. Okay, chorus again. Now we're getting into the bridge. Bridge is a little tricky because you're kind of throwing it, it's going into a different key at that point. So we're going to start the bridge on the A to an F sharp minor. Do that 3 times. A. One more time. And then we're going to change it from there. We're going to go to the E. And we're going to the D for 2 count. Back to the E. Okay. Back to the A. So a lot of back and forth on this, so just try to do your best to follow. The chords are going to be E, D, E, and A are what you're using, and they just kind of flip-flop all over the place. So it's going to be... Right? So it's going to be... So if we're coming out of the... Remember all the movies. The A. But I hated you. You did when you went away, right? So just the A and the E there. So go back and listen to that if you can a little bit. Again, it's E, D, and E on the first go around, A, D, and E, and then the A and the E, which brings you to the walk down going to the solo. So the solo is just in the key of G, E minor, pentatonic, baby, mainly. Right, so if you know your E minor box, you can get that. But going into that solo, what you're doing is you are coming out of that E. So what I do there is just to kind of give it a bit of a build-up, because there's not much going on with the backing band here. I go from the F sharp minor to a B to a D. I hold that D, and I just make it a suspended fourth. Kind of give it that extra push where it goes into the solo. And then what you can do is coming out of the solo, you go right back into the verse chords. So it's... Right, so it's pretty straightforward there, right? So that's what we're doing there. Back into the verse, you're going to do that same pre-chorus we did before. And then we got a bit of a change now. Again, I don't know, it's just kind of a change in the pattern. Now, after all the time, E minor to a B minor, stranded in the park with the C. all we did there, that change there is an E minor to a B minor to a C to the D, right back to the chorus. Okay, following the same thing with the chorus as well. But then we get to the part going towards the end here, where you get to the hiding on the Backstreets, and he repeats hiding on the Backstreets. That's just G to C. Hiding on the Backstreets, hiding on the Backstreets, hiding on the Backstreets. It's pretty straightforward. Just G and C is all we're playing there. But there's going to come a change after that. And when you hear that change, it's going to the A minor, to an F, to the D, do it about 4 times, okay? Again, pretty basic chords, but just listen to the album, know where these changes are, okay? There's just a whole lot going on in this tune, so I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible. I kind of feel like I'm rushing through this, but I'm really not. As long as you kind of know the chords we're talking about, you'll get this no problem. Okay, and then kind of coming out after the that chorus. So a lot going on there. There's a couple walk downs. So if you're coming out of the chorus, to the D, so what were we doing there? A lot going on there. So it's a D, walk down, to a C, to the G. Sorry, to a C, to the D, back to the G. Hold that C. So a lot of different things happening there. Again, we're kind of just doing some easy chords for the most part. Okay, but again, coming out of that last chorus, on the outro itself, G, D, and then we're going to go C, B note, A minor, catching that F sharp there. All right, so all together. Okay, hopefully that helped you out a little bit, as far as the tune goes. I mean, it's very epic. but at the same time, there's a lot of easy chords in there. That if you know your G, your C, an A minor, E minor, the basics, you can probably do the song if you know the song itself. All right. So give that a shot and let me know how it worked out for you. Okay. So I promised you early on I would show you how I do the piano intro. Again, very straightforward here. Chords that you already know. G. So let me play it and then I'll go over it real quick. Right, so what am I doing there? G to the E minor. I'm throwing a quick D in there for the turnaround. Right, there we go. So that's what we're doing. Third time around though. So everything leading up to that arpeggiated piece, that's all part of that intro. Using the piano. So all I did there was playing G, E minor, and D, and then you throw the C in there. Okay, so again, see if I can get that right again. One time. Two. Hold that C twice. We go into the intro. And this piece right here will now fit nicely to how I started the whole lesson, with that intro. So hopefully this helped you out. There's a lot going on here, a lot of moving pieces. Let me know if this helped you out. If you want to see something maybe a little bit closer, I can try to do that. Definitely is an epic song. Hopefully this helped you out, like I said. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video.